Hello Cruising World, Mick the Suit Guy. It's Monday. Monday is tips day. We're going to give you some tips and they're all from me this week. I have a couple of tips on cruising in Australia. And then I have a general one I was thinking about the other day, which I don't think anybody's ever mentioned to me before, but I decided it's a good one. You can be the judge of that. As my good friend Tim always says. Or his Uncle Roger, rather, should I say, but via Tim, whatever. Anyways, so Australia. We are actually cruising to Australia next year, so it was on my mind, so I was thinking about it, and a couple of things I thought I would share with you about cruising to Australia. Number one, did you know you do have to get a little visa? It's called an ETA visa. You can actually download an app, whether you're on an iPhone or a Droid, Samsung, whatever you're on. You can download the app. It's pretty simple from what I'm told. And you just pay, like, I think it's 20 Australian dollars, which is around about 12 or 13 US dollars. And you can upload everything there and then. You have to do that before you travel from the US. And it's got a list of all the different countries you have to get it from, but the US is one. So for those wondering, yes, you do need a visa if you are traveling to Australia, but it's very simple. Just don't show up without it or you won't get in. I assume. I don't know. They make exceptions. I don't know. Also, as of today, and I only found this out yesterday, kind of hot off the presses, or this will now be a couple of weeks ahead because I'm not putting this out for a couple of weeks. Double check because they are still requiring proof of vaccination from COVID in a lot of places in Australia. And on some of the islands out there, like Laifu and Noumea, if you're doing one of those tours on the Australia cruises, you actually need to take a test. Or, you know, dare I say, no, not take a test. I don't even know what I'm talking about. You need insurance. You have to have insurance. I got some people going on the Luminosa cruise, and they are saying because it's over 30 days on the Trans-Pacific on the Luminosa, that they do have to take a test. That's where I'm getting confused. You know, it's not easy doing what I do. It's easy to get mistaken. So no, you do not have to, and I'm talking as of July 2023, and these rules I'm telling you about are only valid right now through December of 2023. Who knows what it will be next year? I'm intrigued because I'm going in April. I should be on a 10-day cruise to New Zealand and then a 10-day cruise to the Great Barrier Reef. Before that, I'm going on a 12-day cruise from Hong Kong to Singapore on Celebrity, my first celebrity cruise. Anyways, yes, so be aware of that. If you're doing a 30-day plus cruise, you still need a negative COVID test. If you're going into Australia, you need proof of vaccination still, and you need to get an ETA visa. And if you're going to one of the islands like Laifu, I think it's called, or Noumea, some of those Pacific Island cruises they do, you do need to get insurance. Insurance is a whole other thing we'll talk about on another tips or another show. I'm going to be doing a whole video on that coming up. Because, you know, I think a lot of people underestimate, especially if you're traveling overseas, the importance of maybe getting some insurance. But we are looking into getting an annual insurance because we travel a lot. But we'll talk about that on another day. Anyway, so that's a little tip for you in Australia, number one. Number two, tip for you in Australia. It's not so much a tip for what to do, it's a what not to do. And the what not to do is do not bring gift cards to Australia because you can't use Carnival gift cards on the cruise to pay for anything. Why, you ask yourself? Because it's Carnival. Well, because everything's in a different currency. And you buy those cards in dollars and they do everything in Australian dollars or US dollars. And they do everything in Australian dollars in there. So you cannot use them to pay for your cruise. You cannot use them until you, well, you can't use them full stop. You can't use them on the ship or anything. I found out another thing before I forget this. So I was talking to somebody, Zoo, thank you very much for helping me out on these questions. She just got back from a cruise with her family on the Splendor to the Great Barrier Reef, gave me some great tips on stuff. And I will see this for myself, but she was saying that with shore excursions and things like that, you cannot actually book them until you get on the ship if you book from America. And I got the impression from the way she was talking that if you book it in Australia, you can book them in advance, because she said when she got on the ship, a lot of the excursions were already sold out. So that's something I'm going to be looking into when I go and finding out the facts on that. That may not be so good, because I don't normally recommend doing Carnival shore excursions, but on a trip to Australia, I might consider it a bit more because I can't get home very easily if I get left ashore in somewhere like, Airlie Beach or Arley Beach, however they say it. I don't know, bloody Australians. They're crushing us in the ashes right now. Anybody that knows what I'm talking about knows what I'm talking about. The Australians beat us at everything. We try really hard, and we're like 50,000 times as many people as them, but we can't beat them at anything. Bloody Australians. Anyway, so yeah, really excited about our trip, but that's a couple of little tips for you if you are going to Australia to know about. Make sure you do or don't do those things. And then my last one for this week, and it may sound a bit weird, but I think it's important because we're always looking at budgets for cruising and how much we're going to spend on this holiday, and you've got this for that, this for that, this for that. I think what a lot of people never think about is how much we're saving by not being at home. And I think you should factor that into your budget when you go on a cruise. What I mean by that is, get an idea for how much a week you spend on food at your house. How much a week you spend on electricity at your house. Water. If you're going on a week-long cruise, add that up. It might be quite considerable. We just went to the shop today, two of us. We've been to there's two of us. We use Publix here. We love Publix. Publix subs, Publix cakes. Publix the best, in my opinion. You won't find many people that disagree that Publix subs aren't some of the best subs on the face of the planet. If you disagree, it's like going to California and saying In-N-Out is rubbish. No, I disagree. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. It's not your fault you have the wrong one. I mean that. I don't mean that. That was mean. But I love Publix. Anyways, we've been twice, two of us, in the last 2 days, and we spent well over $100. We don't, whatever. So factor that in to your budget of what you're spending or not spending, because you save quite a lot of money when you're not home. You might want to leave the air conditioning off if depending on where you are. We'll probably leave ours on because of the cats, but we have somebody come in and check on the cats while we're gone. But yeah, I think it's something you need to factor in. There's a lot of, if you can think of anything else I missed out, what expenses you have. Petrol, as we call it in England, gas as you call it over here, which is really weird because gas means totally whatever. But petrol for your car, quite considerable that can be depending on where you are. Yeah, so there's a lot of factors that I think people need to bring into order on that. So there you go. So yeah, fairly short tips this week, but sometimes it's better, sometimes less is more. Sometimes it's good to be concise and to the point. And if you've been to Australia and you've seen the situation with shore excursions, please put it in the comments because I'd love to know. I learn as much as everybody else. And plus, I'll be gone we'll be gone for like 5 weeks. Woo! I think the cats will disown us when we get home. But, how am I going to bring that many suits? 20 days. Oh, and then 25 on Panorama next year. How am I going to get 25 suits, 25 dresses, 25 pairs of shoes, socks, underwear, plus clothes for wearing on the way there and the way back? Oh dear. Didn't think about that. It's going to be interesting. I can't repeat, can I? Got to wear different ones. Excess baggage, here we come. Who wants to sponsor me? I now have 76 suits. Oops. It's an addiction. Anyway, as I was saying, subscribe to my channel. I wasn't saying it, but I'm going to do it because this is what I do, and I'm doing it again. At the end of these videos, I just keep waffling because to quote the communards and others, I never can say goodbye. But I want to. I got to learn to wrap these things up quicker because 80% of people are no longer watching this video. You've given up. Because if you watch my videos regularly, you know exactly what I'm about to say, so why would you keep watching? I'd have switched off. Subscribe. Hit that little bell thing and you'll get notifications when I send my emails out. Send me your tips. If you didn't like those tips, I'm not going to lie, they may not have been the best tips I've ever given out. If that's not an indication to you that I'm running out of ideas, then what is? Send me yours. Because without tips, there's no show. And we can't help the cruising world. So send me your tips and I will read them live without reading them first. Ha ha! See what I do to you. I'm always nice-ish. Anyway, do that. Send me those tips. If you have any questions, my email is coming up at the end of this video. I would love to help you out, answer your questions. As I like to say, if I don't know the answer, I know someone that does, and I will get it for you and send it out to you. And send me your tips, send me your traditions, and that's about it. Viva Australia! They don't say that, but think about it. Send me your tips on Australia. Put them in the comments. I'd love to know. Share. Sharing is caring. I will see you later, Cruising World. Check out our site, elitetravelconnection.com, or email me, Mick, at elitetravelconnection.com. We are here for you. Finally, subscribe, please. Pretty please. You know you want to. Go on. I won't beg you. Okay, I'm begging. Please. Subscribe. Thank you.